Hey guys, Alex here, and I've got another deck profile for you. Today I'll be showing you guys my Harpie deck. You've heard about it before, and you're probably wondering, well, what can you do with Harpies? Well, there's a new Master Rule now, and it's a kind of a fun deck to play in theme duels. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you guys probably already know her, but this is Harpie Chandler. Pretty useful monster. All you have to do is discard a Harpie card from your hand, and she'll special summon any Harpie monster from your deck. So that can be just about anything because you're playing a deck of Harpies. Very good for Xyz plays. When you have a level 7 dragon on the field, she'll copy its level. So typically if you're summoning Harpie's Pet Dragon with her effect, then you can make a rank 7 pretty easily, but otherwise she's great for rank 4s. Another great monster to summon with her, and probably the one you'll want to use the most, is Harpie Perfumer. I play her at 3 because I do like to see her even if she's not searched out the deck. Because when she's summoned, either normal or special summoned, you can add a card that lists Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters, only spells and traps mind you, from your deck to your hand. And that can be a lot of different things in this deck, especially with the support they received in Sisters of the Rose. Though a pretty common target would be Elegant Egotist. Another useful, but maybe not as widely played monster is Harpie Oracle. So Harpie Oracle is a lot like Perfumer, and the only main difference is that, actually there's a couple more differences. She can special summon herself to the field if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, so basically Harpie Lady Sisters. And also, when she's summoned, she can actually grab the same type of spell or trap as Perfumer, but from the grave. So recycling. A Harpie most people should be used to by now is Harpie Queen. I run her because she's basically terraforming. Pitch her from your hand and you can go get your Harpie's Hunting Ground, which even now is still a very important part of this deck. A very useful Harpie that you don't really think about this one too much, it's Harpie Harpist. She's great for blocking attacks because when she goes to the graveyard, on the end phase she can grab you a level 4 winged beast from the deck with 1500 or less attack. So she's pretty useful. A good utility Harpie is Harpie Dancer. Now, I don't know if you should run her at 2. I do. Might want to run her at 1, honestly. But she's pretty useful because she works well with the new Link monster. She can actually return a Winged Beast monster back to the hand and give you an extra normal summon. And that's really not a big deal on its own in a vacuum, but when you combine it with a Link monster, you get a pretty devastating combo. Your Elegant Egotist target, Harpie Lady 1, and the last target, Harpie Lady Sisters. Now, Sisters has to be mentioned here because she's also very important for other cards in the deck. Perfumer and Harpie Oracle both have extra effects if she is on the field when you use their effects. Basically, they can grab 2 cards for the price of 1 if she's there. Harpie Lady 1 is just useful because of the attack bonus she gives all of your wind monsters on the field. So, very good monster, pretty good monster. You don't want to leave this in the deck though, so try to get it out as soon as possible. Last monster for the deck is Harpie's Pet Dragon. It's only here for Harpie Chandler. That's the only reason it's here. Otherwise, I do not want to see this. You do not want to draw this. And God forbid you draw both of these together. Just keep that in mind. Alright, so that's it for my monsters. Move these to the side. Okay, now we're going to go on to spells. So, this is Hysteric Sign. This is now basically their most important spell over Elegant Egotist because it can search Elegant Egotist. But that's not all it does because searching that one card wouldn't be a big deal. It's useful, but the best part about Hysteric Sign is that if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add 3 Harpie cards to your hand with different names. Think about how insane that is. Once this goes to the grave, 3 cards. And they don't have much draw power, so you do like seeing that happen. The problem is, you can only resolve 1 of its effects per turn. So when you activate Hysteric Sign and get that search, you then can't destroy it, and if you do, you don't get anything for it. So you typically want to let this sit for a bit after your turn is ended. That way it's live to go to the graveyard whenever you want. Your opponent might destroy it, I don't know why they would, or you can end up destroying it with your own cards because Hunting Ground. Speaking of Elegant Egotist, I run it at 3. I've seen many different builds that run it at 2, and I think I've even seen one that ran it only at 1. Considering how much I like being able to pull Sisters and Harpie Lady 1 out the deck, I like Elegant Egotist because it can lead to pretty extensive Xyz plays and Link plays. And when it's under this new Master Rule, it's even better now that you don't have to worry about bothersome Link monsters anymore. Here's Harpie's Hunting Ground. A lot of the different cards in this deck like to be popped by its effect. You'll be seeing those very shortly. You already saw one, but the next ones that are pretty useful is Alluring Mirror Split. Now, this card can fool an untrained eye. It's basically just a card that allows you to replace Harpies that are destroyed by your opponent. And basically, if a Harpie is destroyed, you get to special summon one from the deck. If this card is destroyed, it can actually get one from the graveyard. So you can mix and match the effects to keep Harpies on deck even when your opponent is in control. I like it because it can be pretty easy bait on my opponent. They won't like that I can just float off this card, but they also may not have a choice and have to destroy it, which means I'll float even more for it. Great card. Now here's an interesting card that I don't recommend you try to play, but it's a fun card to play, and that's why it's my fun deck. It's Harpie's Feather Rest. It is their draw card, and it's got a pretty high cost. You've got to target 3 Harpie ladies in your grave, and then shuffle those back into the deck, and if you do, you get to draw a card. That's not a great benefit, but if Harpie Lady Sisters is on your field, you can then draw 2 cards instead. That makes it good. And it recycles your Harpies. You don't mind that. So I played at 2 because I do like to see it. Maybe not a 3 kind of card, but it's definitely a 2 of. Last spell is Double or Nothing. You guys can probably guess, I play Utopia Double. And the way Harpies move and attack, you can get some really cheesy victories Utopia Double, so that's why Double or Nothing is in here. I'm not joking, guys. You can get really fast wins that throw your opponent off entirely. Okay, so just a couple trap cards. The most important one is here. Harpie's Feather Storm. Don't be fooled by anything else you've seen in this video so far. This is the card. This makes Harpies relevant. Without this, they will lose a lot more. Harpie's Feather Storm is a really great trap card that will cause your opponent to no longer be able to activate monster effects for the rest of their turn. And if there's a Harpie Lady on your field, you can even activate it from your hand. So it's a hand trap. You can just end your opponent's turns with this. It is too good for words. Unfortunately, it's nigh unsearchable, so run it at 3 so your best chance of seeing it happens. Because it's a quote-unquote hand trap, running it at 3 means you might even be able to get it off early on your opponent when they try to stop your moves. Excellent card. Excellent card. Final trap, Hysteric Party. This is more of a tech for me. Basically, it's a continuous trap that lets you summon as many Harpie Lady monsters onto your grave as possible to the field. If this card is destroyed, you lose all of them. So you don't want to lose your Hysteric Party, but it can lead to OTK situations and cheesy wins. When the chips are down and you had this set, then suddenly the odds are right back in your favor again. I like Hysteric Party. Right, that's it for my traps. And that's the entire main deck. And now let's go to the extra deck. So we'll start with Link monsters and work our way to Xyz monsters. First up is Harpie Conductor. So she was very, very relevant back when links were required in the strategy. But now that not so much, you can play her, maybe even at 1. I still have her at 2 for now. She's pretty useful because They have an alternative way of fighting if you combine her with Harpie Dancer. Basically, anytime a Harpie monster is returned to the hand, you can then cause your opponent to also send a card. Well, you can choose a card that your opponent controls and send that back to their hand. So if you're using it with Dancer, you can even use that twice because Dancer's effect is not a once per turn effect. So it's pretty useful in that regards. But besides that effect, she can also protect your Harpie monsters while she's on the field. At any time when they will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one of your spell or traps instead. So just like with Hunting Ground, she has a way of destroying your cards, and sometimes you like destroying your cards. So less important Link monsters, Great Fly for when it was necessary, but not so much anymore. But you still might like the attack boost because Harpies don't get very big normally. Borload Dragon, you can get to a Link 4 very easily. It can end the game. You should play it in Harpies. It's a good idea. Utopia, for Utopia Double. Similar to a Borload play, you want to end the game. You do it with him. It gets really big. You probably already heard about it before. Now we're looking at the very useful Xyz monsters that are now live with the new rules. Castell, removal. Exit Unite, mass removal. Cowboy can end the game all at once by providing a little burn damage. Abyss Dweller locks out your opponent's graveyard. Tornado Dragon attacks back row, and quickly at that. Chidori has 2 removal effects. That's really useful. Baguska can stall out a game. And an interesting one that I play now is Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. It's a rank 4 monster, but it takes 3 level 4, so it's pretty hard to summon. But if you do, it makes your Harpies unable to be targeted by card effects or battle. And this thing can even attack directly. So you get to swing for free at your opponent for about 3 turns before all your materials are removed from it by its own effect. Until then, hopefully you find another way of fighting as well. Final card is a rank 7, number 11 Big Eye. For those Harpie Chandler plays where you use up that useless Harpie's Pet Dragon to make a not useless Big Eye. Alright guys, that is my Harpie Lady deck. I love it. I hope you liked it. And I'm going to be using it in some theme duels in the future. I hope you guys are ready for it. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to make some suggestions, put them in the comments. That's all from me. See you in the next one. Pass turn.